Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and it's February, but it's like 73 degrees. So it is time for our 18-month review of my GLA 45 AMG. This is a 2015 model. We've done, forgive these bumpy roads, we've done, let's see, a 6-month review, a 12-month review, and now an 18-month review. So I have 12,476 miles. I haven't driven that much in the last 6 months. The last 6 months I've been unemployed. So all my trips have been short, you know, doing errands, going around to hockey. So I haven't put many miles in those last 6 months since we did our 12-month review. Hold on, let's do some acceleration here. So the first thing you'll notice about a GLA 45 AMG is this engine. This engine stock is 355 horsepower for 2015, 332 foot-pounds of torque. It is a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder. It's at the time that this was built, it was the most powerful 4-cylinder ever. It's turbocharged, and it has 26.5 pounds of boost. 0 to 60 in about 4.2 seconds. I don't have a sunroof here, but I think I should reconsider because it's always dark in my car. All-wheel drive. This car, as equipped, I'm missing the sunroof and the aero package, which gives you the wing in the back and I think a different little front air dam. This car was $63,000 MSRP if you bought it new, and you know, these cars totally out with the totally optioned out with the sunroof, and the aero package was like, the aero package I think is like $2,500, so let's just call it $67,000, somewhere in that range. At the end of this review, I'll give you the pros and cons on the GLA 45 AMG. Remember, guys, to hit that subscribe button and like this video. This allows me to keep making more videos. And most important is comment. Everybody who watches this video make a comment, I'll be in great shape, and YouTube will push me up in the algorithm and the searches, and more people will find out about my channel. So if you want to grow my channel, go back and watch all the videos all the way through and leave a comment on every single one. There's always something to comment about, okay? Thank you very much. All right, so this car, again, 10 seconds into driving this car, you're going to notice the engine. This is where it blows my M2 away. This engine is so much better than what I have in the M2, and this engine is just to die for. Just to give you a background, if you're new to the channel, I had a CLA 45 AMG before my M2, a 2014 model, which was the first year for the CLA 45 AMG. I traded that in when I got my 2016 M2, and you know, I love the M2. It's great. I'll probably keep it forever, but well, who knows how long forever is with me. But I really miss the engine of the CLA. So when I needed I wanted an all-weather, all-wheel drive car that fit for adults, you know, the first thing I thought of was the GLA 45 AMG. And why? Because of this engine, which I will demonstrate right now. Now, fuel cutoff is about 6,200 RPMs, and it will cut you off, so it's embarrassing. Watch the Motor Trend video when they tested the CLA. They had the same problem. Once the turbo kicks in, so let's say around 3,000 RPM, 3,500, it'll fly to that 6,200 red line. So you really got to be watching the tachometer. Now, dual clutch transmission for this car has had mixed reviews. If you watch the other reviews, they'll tell you it's not that great. And this is the same dual clutch transmission that's in the SLS AMG. But what you really need to do in order for it to act like a real dual clutch is drive it in manual mode. So manual mode, it does lightning fast shifts. It's really, really good in manual mode. Where it's not so good is comfort mode. So comfort mode, the shifts are very lazy. It's jerky in traffic. Now, if you buy one of these cars, you get an Amg Racing School. So when I bought the CLA 45 AMG, I took the AMG Racing School at Lime Rock, and that was fantastic, and it's free when you buy a new AMG. But most of the people I talked to there actually drove this car in sport mode. I like sport mode better than comfort mode, but sport mode, the shifts are just a little too harsh. It's like the two settings between comfort and sport are very, very extreme. So I drive it in manual mode the whole time. The only time I ever put this car in comfort mode is if I'm sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic, so I really have to, or if I'm going to be on a constant speed at the highway. So if you're in manual mode on the highway in 7th gear, 7th gear and 6th gear are really for gas mods. So you have to go down at least 2 shifts. We probably have to go 5th or 4th really to pass somebody. So for that reason, I leave it in comfort mode, and it's actually quicker, I've found, to just stomp on the gas in comfort mode. It'll do those shifters shifting even quicker than I can pull the paddles, and that's how I would pass people on the highway. So manual mode around town, manual mode on every entrance and exit ramp, which this car is great at because the handling is phenomenal, and comfort mode on the highway. And if I do, watch these bumps here, if I do have to pass somebody, then I just put my foot down in comfort mode, and it downshifts quicker than I can pull paddles, unfortunately. Safety features, this has the automatic stop, blind spot monitoring. I have it in my car. Now it's kind of cool that I have it. I did not take that when I had my first one, my CLA 45. It kind of annoyed me in traffic, but you get used to it really quick. Do another acceleration run here. See, again, we're getting that fuel cut off there. Even if I'm shifting at 6, it's hitting 62 before I get to it. And this is really a joy to go up and down through the gears. I love, at the end of the video, I'll tell you if I would buy this car again and why or why not. So please watch the video all the way through. But, as far as just a fun, I bought this as a daily driver, but this can be a fun, Sunday morning or weekend car too. You can take this to the canyons. You can take this to some curvy roads. I love entrance and exit ramps with it. Now, this is an all-wheel drive car, but it drives in front-wheel drive unless there's slip, but it does a pretty convincing job of hiding it. For some reason, and I don't know why, when I had my 2014 CLA AMG, I really noticed that it was all-wheel drive. And before that, I had my E90 M3, so maybe that's why, because rear drive. And this car, even coming from the M2, I don't notice it front-wheel drive. It actually acts to me like it's an all-wheel drive car. It hides that front-wheel drive bias very well. And you can downshift, and you can hear the mix. Really, this is probably one of the best stock exhausts I've heard, and I think it's really, really good. This is the AMG Performance exhaust. And I forget the option, it was pretty cheap. It was like $500 or $550. They may have raised it now in the upcoming model years. And I think it is well worth the price. I think this is the best sport exhaust for a car in this price range. So now that we're talking about price, I think these cars are very expensive new. I bought this car with 900 miles on it. The owner of the dealership was driving it himself. So I'm technically the first owner of the car because it was never registered. So I got a smoking deal on this car. I got $17,000 off sticker. I got this car for just under $45,000, like $44,900 or something like that. And for $44,900, I think it's worth every penny. This car is a 2015 now, so it's I guess 2 or 3 years old model year wise. And the value of it is probably 40, 42, somewhere in that range. So I think you really got to buy these cars used. I think these AMGs, even if you can't get much off sticker, the way I found it when these cars are selling new is most dealerships only get about one of these, and they're loaded to the hill. They're $65,000 cars, MSRPs, and most of them don't want a deal because they only have one of them, and they figure it's an AMG, somebody's going to pay it, so it's very hard discount. But try to get a used one for like 40 grand or low 40s, and I think this is the most fun you're going to have. Now, 2016, they made a little more horsepower, but I don't think that makes a difference. I don't necessarily think that I wouldn't spend the extra money to get 25 horsepower. If you want more horsepower, the best thing to do is get a Rentec tune. You can get it through the dealer. If the dealer installs the ECU tune for you, you will get an extra 100 something foot-pounds of torque, 120 foot-pounds of torque. So you go from 332 to 450, and that would be where I'd spend my money. I would get a 15 and do the Rentec tune, probably if I was doing it all over again. All right, so let's talk gas mods. I haven't been driving on the back roads that much. I've been driving around town. So most of my driving is around town, averaging 30 miles an hour according to the computer on the car. And that's still giving me almost 23 miles to the gallon. Now I can tell you on the highway, If I drive normal, like say 70 miles an hour on cruise control, I can easily get 30 miles to the gallon. And in mixed highway and city driving, I can easily average about 26.5. And just to put that in perspective, years ago I had a 2003 Mini Cooper S, and that's supposed to sip gas, even though it was the S model, not the base model. And I averaged the same with that car, 26.5. So it just shows you, 15 years later, an AMG can get the same gas mileage as a Mini Cooper. Now, if you hoon it, or even if I hoon it around on my most spirited drives, I'm still getting like 22 miles to gallon. So that's the great thing about this 4-cylinder engine. And this, again, this engine is to die for. All right, so now the big deal is this car. Let's tune it one more time, actually. So now I'm in third gear. I'm going to come to a complete stop. It'll put me in first. It's a little jerky there going into second, and then first at a complete stop. And this car is fast, and it handles great. With this short wheelbase, it can always oversteer. If you drive it in manual mode like I drive it, it lowers the stability control settings, so it's a little more prone to oversteer. So it can actually go from understeer to oversteer. And in comfort mode, there's a lot more understeer. Get into the manual mode where you're using the paddles yourself and you have to shift because you'll hit red line. It'll actually can oversteer once in a while, which is fun, which just makes it great to drive. So would I buy the car again? I would buy the car again, but I would certainly do it the way I did it. Technically, I'm the first owner, so essentially I bought it new at a big discount. So if I had to buy it again, I would buy it used. I think for 40 grand, this is one of the best cars out there. Spend 42 grand to get a perfect one. But I would definitely buy this car used. I think it's a great buy. I think any new AMG depreciates 20 grand the second you, and like most cars, the second you get off the showroom floor. But I think this is a car to have. You can certainly fit your family in here. I fit my hockey gear in here. A hockey bag is equal to about 2 golf bags, so you can certainly, if you're a golfer, this will be a great car. People have their convertibles out today. This is definitely a car to buy. Competitors to this car, to me, it's always been the STI or WRX wagon. Now, the advantage of those cars, of course, is you could buy them in stick. I think Mercedes has done a horrible job. Yes, Mercedes, you've done a horrible job marketing this car. They marketed it as a small SUV, which it is not. Buy a GLC or whatever the small SUV is, but that's not this. This is a hot hatch, and I think if they marketed it as a hot hatch, like I haven't seen one GLA 45 commercial, and maybe they don't have enough. Let's accelerate again. Maybe they don't have enough buyers. At this price point, if every dealer is just selling one of them and they haven't sold many of these cars, but I think they've marketed this car all wrong. I think they've done a horrible marketing job, and I think there'd be a lot of people buying these cars if they knew what they were. I always, non-car people don't get it, so I just say, oh, it's a little Mercedes SUV, because, but car enthusiasts do. Car enthusiasts will definitely recognize this car. Now, the CLA 45 is, I think, a better looking car. This car to me is more practical, and I've owned both because you don't have the headroom. I couldn't, at 6 feet tall, I couldn't sit behind myself in the CLA 45. And the trunk was real tight too. The back seat, you really had to be short and not have long legs like me. You just don't have the headroom with that shape. But I can tell you, I got a lot more compliments on the CLA because I think most people think it's the better looking car, and I agree with that. I think it's actually the better looking car. I think the GLA is the more practical car. Now, maybe just because this is my second time around, I had the CLA for like 2 or 3 years, and I've had this car 18 months, so I have a lot of seat time in these cars. And the CLA, I put like 40,000 miles on it, so I really had, even though I didn't get to put much on this because I have a lot more cars now, they're both great cars. So this, if you want looks, I think if you want people to notice the look of the car, I think the CLA is probably the better choice. If you need all the practicality like I do, then I think the GLA is the better choice. But you can't go wrong with either. So everything I'm saying in this video also applies pretty much to the CLA. So I would definitely buy this car. I highly recommend it. Here's the stuff that I don't like. I wish the ride, it wasn't so stiff. It's very stiff. Now it's even stiffer with the 20-inch wheels. 19s are standard. I actually dropped down a size. I do 18s for the winters because the roads get really bad here in the winter. And this doesn't have the sport suspension, so I'd forego the sport suspension. I had it in the CLA 45 and I got tired of it. So I loved it when I first had it because it got rid of a lot of that understeer and made it a great driving car. But then after a while, it wore on me. All right, guys, so how would I spec this car out? Real simple. I think you have to have the car seats must have option. I would get the navigation, the command system, I think they call it. Sport exhaust is a must-have option. Don't buy a car without a sport exhaust. And then the rest is up to you. I would get the leather interior. I think it's worth the money. Again, then these Recaros are wrapped in leather. Get a good set of winter tires. The car comes with sticky summer tires. And then the other stuff is up to you, whether you want a sunroof or the aero kit. I'm kind of glad I didn't have the aero kit. I think it's a great sleeper now, and it surprises people how fast this car is and how well it handles. Let's do one more acceleration run. So yes, I would definitely buy this car again. For me, having a car 18 months is a long time. I usually swap cars after 6 months or a year. So the fact that this is my daily driver for 18 months is saying something. Definitely buy it. If you want a grown-up STI or a grown-up WRX, you know, it's a real sleeper, especially without the aero kit, and that's what I love about it, is people don't know what this car is, and you know, they're gonna be blown away when you take them for a ride. All right, guys, that's our review of the GLA 45 AMG. Thanks so much for watching. You can help me by hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Make sure to like this video, share it with your friends so my channel can grow. And thank you for watching the video all the way through. We're closing in on, we may have done it already by the time I post this, 400 videos. So go back and watch as many videos as you can. Make sure, let's tune this. Make sure you watch as many videos as you can, but watch them all the way through. So for YouTube to plug my channel to new potential subscribers, they want to see a lot of comments and they want to see you watching the videos to the end. So watch the videos to the end, guys. I always give you my conclusion and my final thoughts at the end of the video, and then leave a comment below. Comment, go back and watch all my videos and comment on them. That'll really help me a lot. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. Take care.